Okay, what do we got? Weird how 3 lives with being a fire flower, but no Gmar, you only get 2 with the fire flower. Yeah, that's an interesting difference in the modern versus the original Super Mario Brothers. That in in the modern Mario games you get from fire flower to big to small, whereas in the original Super Mario Brothers it's fire flower to small directly if you get hits. Interesting, certainly a different philosophy. Oh, that's a warp pipe. Oh my goodness, we're taking this pipe every single time. Okay. But I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. It's just a question of, is it more valuable? Do you want a more forgiving design? Do you want a more, like, sort of hardcore design? And I mean, especially in Super Mario Brothers, in the context of this game, I think it works. Because having a fire flower is so much better than not having a fire flower. I don't think you need the extra hits to give it value. And I think in general, that's probably the case. But especially from like a defeating enemies perspective, in this game in particular, it's a little more cost-effective than other Mario games, right? Your mid-air control is not quite as precise as in other Mario games. The bouncing off of enemies is a bit less, isn't quite as forgiving. A greater share of the enemies are things like Hammer Bros, which are really annoying to jump on. And the Hammer Bros in this game, I believe, are more difficult than the Hammer Bros in, say, New Super Mario Brothers. So I think the Fire Flower, for that reason, is, like, extremely valuable. And so I think, even if you're not getting the extra hit, I think you definitely want to have the Fire Flower if given the opportunity. Power abuse got me through World 8 of Mario Bros. Wii when I was younger. Yeah, certainly. Being able to sort of go back, get the power-ups you want, it definitely helps. Right. See, what this game gets from, it's a bit more improvisational, it's a bit more, adventurous, and like well, you get what you get, and you gotta make the best of it. Again, in a lot of ways, I see the sort of design ethos here, and it does remind me a lot of, roguelike games, with this, short playthroughs, very iterative nature of those playthroughs, right? The idea of, you're not getting to, like, plan your perfect build, you have to just kind of take what the game gives you and make the best of it. Right? It's a very similar design ethos to what we see these days in the roguelike space specifically. Which is cool, because I like roguelikes in general. So it's interesting to see, like, what was at the time, like, the flagship game for a console, have that sort of design ethos. But what it gains in that, it loses in, like, it's not a game about, planning. It's not a game where you're going to go out to the title screen and be like, what is the ideal power-up to use in this circumstance? Which is an appeal in and of itself. Right? I'm not dissing that appeal of a game. But I do think, if you look at the industry writ large, those sorts of games are a lot more common these days than the sort of game where I need to stop trying to get that mushroom. It's a lost cause. It cannot be gotten. And there's one later in the level anyways, okay? See, that's what we call in the business impatience. Also, in contrast to this power-up stuff, I always hated that Luigi box when I failed a level too many times. I mean, I will do it eventually. Yeah, I feel you. Especially, I was just playing Princess Peach Showtime A lot of you guys probably already saw that. And I was specifically doing my no coins challenge, which, by the way, the video on that is coming along quite nicely. I'm nearly done writing the script for the video. It's a long one. I imagine the video will probably end up being longer than 30 minutes. It was a pretty intense challenge, so that makes sense. But anyways, to the point though. Princess Peach Showtime. One thing that did kind of irk me, as I was doing the no coins challenge, I ended up dying a lot because I was trying various things and they didn't always necessarily work. And so, deaths ensued. But then what would annoy me is, I don't even know exactly how many times it lets you die before it sends you these messages, but it's not many times. It's like 2 or 3. And then it sends you this message like, oh, you've died a bunch. Do you want a hearts charm to give you extra hearts? Which, if I was like a normal person that was having trouble with the game, sure, fair enough. Why not? It was really annoying for me specifically because I was actually sometimes, I would make a mistake and like get a coin and then it's like, oh, well, I either need to reset the whole level or I can probably do this a bit faster if I just intentionally kill myself and reset just this section of the level that way. So, and then obviously adding like 3 hearts to my health didn't help with regards to that. So, yeah. Oh, right. I didn't actually want that. I wanted to get up here. Can I actually make it from here? No. Okay, whatever. But then the real annoying thing is once you get to that level, then at a certain point it starts asking, hey, do you just want to skip this level? Which again, I don't hate as a concept, right? When I was a young lad, on occasion I would end up using the super guide to get through the level and progress through the game. However, there should be a setting. If you're going to have those settings, there should be a way you can like go into, it doesn't even need to be like super front and center, but there should be a way to go into the options and say, hey, I understand you have this mechanic in place to where I can, just ask the game to skip the level entirely or beat the level for me or however you're going to frame this. But I am not going to use that. Like myself, I'm not going to use it. Turn it off. I do not even want the option to appear because then what can happen is you can accidentally press the option. And, obviously if you were not intending on using such an option, that can get real annoying real fast. Ended up accidentally clicking on the adding like more hearts thing in the Princess Peach Showtime game a whole bunch because every single time it comes up, the default selection is, yes, give me the extra hearts. So you gotta remember, every single time it comes up, no, you gotta push to the right to select no, and then press continue. Which, I mean, at the very least, like, if you're not going to give me that, like, menu option, like, okay, look, don't show me these sorts of accessibility options, alright? I'm going to do this like a man myself. At the very least, if the last time it came up I selected no, can you please at the very least make it so the default selection is no? Right, it's as confusing as why in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Why is it that every single time I boot up the game and want to play multiplayer in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, auto drive and auto steering are the default options? Right? Look, I may use that mechanic at some point in my life. I'm not ruling that out necessarily. Well, okay. Literally, I have used that option, but it was for a video. But what I'm getting at, though, is I might, on occasion, like have, a young relative over to play the game. And they might want to do that. How am I... Okay, here's my play. This should work. There you go. Work smarter, not harder. But, like, it shouldn't be the default option, because... Like, anyone under the age of, like... And I'll be generous here. Anyone under the age of, like, roughly 8... I don't think is going to be particularly interested in using that specific mechanic. I could be wrong, who knows? Maybe the kids these days are total softies and, you know, everyone's like, oh, what? You don't play with auto steering on? Wow, you're weird. You know, that's as archaic as writing in cursive or something. Who knows? Maybe playing Mario Kart as it was meant to be played is the new writing in cursive. I don't know. It's plausible, I suppose. But I doubt it. So I would prefer that to be an opt-in, not an opt-out. But that's just me. Oh, there's a Koopa here. Sorry, I was looking at chat. Gotta be careful when you glance at chat, that is for certain. You know, if I end up at this level again, which hopefully I won't, because, you know, I'd like to, you know, beat the game at some point soon. But if I do end up here again, I've got to try jumping on that Koopa and seeing if maybe there's enough enemies there for the shell to give me a 1-up. I assume that's still a mechanic in this game. I may assume wrongly, but I'm going to assume until proven wrong. Oh! 1-up! Oh, bullets. Okay. There we go. I can even, like, break these blocks. Yeah. Let's go. Oh. No! I wanted to get more! Oh, well. It's fine. Let's look at chat for a second. The box is the bane of my existence. Yes. That propeller power, phew, that made life easier. I remember playing the penguin suit because it was cute. Yeah, the penguin suit back in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Very nice power. The thing that always confused me about it, though. You know what? I'll take it. I remember last attempt, I did jump on an enemy and then got my credits taken away. This time I didn't jump on an enemy and I got credit for it, so sure. I guess we're even now. Okay. This is actually a really tough encounter because he's uphill, right? As a great philosopher once said, it's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. And yeah, the high ground is very useful considering the trajectory of my fireballs. That being said, I think we can sneak in here, and then just a little... Oh, sneaky. Okay, there we go. Oh man, that reminds me. I saw... It was a while ago now, but I once saw a video where it was like... Some guy was... It was like a... I think it was a short video or something. But... It was... some guy was taking that sort of scene from... The prequel movie there, of the, it's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. But, like, making it needlessly verbose. so it ended up being, anyway, it's like some, okay, well, we got hit, go, 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 go. Okay, I think this is as far as we've gotten. Oh, that is a cool mechanic. And what they're not going to tell you is if you were already big, I bet what you could do is you could slide underneath there and get the power up that way. Oh, wow, I'm powered up and ready to go. Anyway, so it ended up being like, no, it is concluded, Anakin. The ground of greater elevation belongs to me. And just kind of getting more and more verbose. The title is something along the lines of like, when you have to meet the word count on your essay. Which is funny, like the concept of like a minimum word count, because oftentimes, like I'm not saying there's never like a real life case where it's helpful to be able to write a lot of words, but oftentimes like brevity and conciseness is way more important than being able to drag on your point for, you know, several paragraphs. Right? I mean, what's the meme? The meme is, you know, this is a meeting that could have been an email, or this is an email that could have been a phone call, or this is a phone call that could have been a text. The meme isn't, this is a text that could have been an email. Oh, this is tough. Never mind, it was easy. But in general, if you can communicate an idea in a sentence, you probably shouldn't communicate it in a paragraph. Unless you are legitimately adding, like, extra depth that is important to the discussion at hand. We're getting some lags in the stream? Hopefully it's not too bad. I got my previews that I'm looking at. I really sort of ran into that one, didn't I? Quite literally. I guess technically I jumped into it. I mean, okay. Do you get the power? Do you get the mushroom, or do you just go through? That's the question here. Okay. You gotta time the fire bar, you gotta time the fireballs. I think you just go through. Yeah, you just go through. Yeah, let's go up top. Why not? Less fireball. Fire bar. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Okay. What happens if you... Okay. Okay, you can just ride that up top. Now, real penalty. I won't say that I timed that well, but I don't think I should have died there. Like, I was like a second, like half a second off from not dying there. If I had the power up... I mean, I lived. Like, I'm no worse off than if I hadn't gone for the power up. Now I am. Okay, last life. Last life. Okay. And I guess I kind of got to get, like, accustomed to World 5, because it doesn't seem like World 5 is actually skippable. At least based on the levels I've seen so far. Okay, so how are you supposed to get... Never mind, I was saying, how are you supposed to get the power up without losing it? Apparently that's how. Well, I'm invincible, might as well book it. Okay. And those, like, bursts of flames that come at you, they are, like, the toughest part of the castle. Okay, we made it to Bowser. That's something. There's a fireball here? That's ridiculous. That's like, almost as ridiculous as there having been a fire bar at the previous castle. Right. Okay, look. I thought that was going a block above me. Solid right now, we chilling? Okay, good. How goes the gaming so far? Well, chicken sandwich. We're playing Super Mario Brothers. I've gotten to the end of... I've gotten to, like, the Bowser fight of the World 5 castle so far. We're trying to beat the game tonight in this stream. No! Greed. So it could be going better. I'm actually finding that I quite admire the game design. on display here. Yeah, they really don't make them like they used to. There we go. Let's make sure we remember, though, there was that 1-up we found in World 5. We definitely want to get that every single playthrough. As well as, you know, a lot of coins. Would be helpful. Alright. Let's do this. Let's go. It was interesting. I was checking the Twitch stats before I streamed this. And I think... I guess I checked like a couple hours before the stream actually started, but when I checked, it was like... There's apparently like 9 viewers or something for Super Mario Brothers. Which I guess kind of makes sense. It's not a particularly relevant game right now, but I don't know. I figured Super Mario Brothers would be like one of those like evergreen games that would always have like... Oh my goodness, there's a 1-up here? No, 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 it escaped me! Alright, let's keep that in mind. 1-up right here. Chat, do not let me forget about the 1-up. Maybe it still exists? No. Well. Okay, we now know about 2 1-up locations. This is good. That means we'll basically have 5 lives every single time we try this game out. We try to beat the game. And the more lives you have, the more likely you are to succeed. Like, I mean, imagine how overpowered that would be in real life, right? The ability to, like, just get multiple lives. And heck, even if you kind of use, like, one of the worse versions of it, so let's assume it's not like, oh, you took lethal damage and now you just, like, wake up fine in your bed the next morning. Right, let's assume it's something more akin to, like, reincarnation or something. Like, oh, you died. Okay, that's fine. You're going to be reborn in a new body or something. But you get to carry over your knowledge and experience from your previous life. Like, how many times do you suppose you would have to die in order to just kind of, like, break the system and, like, take over the world? I don't know. Like, and there'd be a lot of paths available to you, that's for sure, right? Like, I mean, the obvious idea is, you know, if you carry over your memories, your experience, the obvious idea is, you know, dedicate your first life to, like, becoming really good at a certain skill. Something where ideally children are something that would be noticed in childhood, right? Right, so you're probably not going to want to... Well, I don't know, I mean, I guess technically you could force anything to be noticed in childhood, right? You could, like, start... You know, if you get, like, a major in physics or something in your first life, you could just, as a child, then be like, oh, I'm gonna write down a whole bunch of crazy, complex physics equations, and that'll get their attention. But, you know, say you become, like, a chess... Like, you dedicate your first life to, like, learning chess, and then you start your next life and you're, like, a chess prodigy, right? You're, like, 10 years old, and it's like, oh my goodness, this 10-year-old is already rated, like, 2200, right? You know, given, like, infinite lives to study chess, you could probably become, like, the chess grandmaster eventually, just through, like, sheer force of will. Or like, I mean, it would apply to probably any sports? Or any contest, really? More or less? Right, I mean, heck, even if, you know, say you play, like, football, right? even if you only, in your first life, get to, like, high school level football, when you start your second life and you start doing, like, high school level football, well, guess what? Now you're, like, a freshman high school football player with the experience of a senior. And so now you're going to be the star high school football player. Now you can probably parlay that into college football. Then, maybe you don't make it to the NFL, but okay, well, next time, well, you are going to be a freshman college football player who has the experience of a senior football player. Not to mention double the high school football experience. Maybe then you, like, can parlay that into the NFL or something. Like, given enough time, enough lives, and enough determination, I think if you had an actual plan that you were executing, I think anyone could probably, or just about anyone could probably, like, have what they would consider a very successful life within, let's call it, I think you got a good shot that even your second life could be very successful. I think third life being huge success is probably a shoo-in for basically anyone. Because so many things in life are kind of like a snowball effect. They build... What the heck? There's a water level here? What have I done? Oh, no, 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 no! Why was there a water level? Ah, come on. Right, so like, what I was saying though, a lot of things in life snowball, right? Easy things are things like, YouTube or popularity or something, right? Once you have like one success in, a creative or in a field driven by popularity, the likelihood that people will see your future things is much increased. But even in like skill-based things, I saw there was a statistic or something that like some absurd amount of professional, I think it was soccer players is what they were talking about in this case, have birthdays in like a very particular part of the year. And the reason for that is actually that those birthdays make it, or like at the end of like the cutoff for the the Little League like soccer season, right? So I don't remember what the specific months were, but we'll just make up some months and it'll still get the point across, right? So suppose for a second that your birthday was, let's say that the birthdays in question were like January, February or something, right? The reason though that they would be excelling is because the Little League soccer season, we'll say, started in, what would it be? December, okay? Right? So imagine you've got like the 5-year-olds, or heck, maybe it's like the 3-year-olds or something, but we'll just say you've got the 5-year-olds playing their Little League soccer game. And the season starts in December. Well, anyone who's 5 in December gets to be on the team. Hooray! Let's suppose your birthday is in January. Well, you missed the cutoff, which means, the season starts when you're like 4 and 11 months and you missed the cutoff and you're not allowed on the team until next year when the season starts when you're basically already 6 years old, right? Which is a huge deal. Like, the difference between a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old is insane. Right? A 6-year-old is going to be so much more competent, so much bigger, stronger, and they've got literally like 20% more life under their belts. Which puts the kids who are kind of like just at that point where their birth date is behind the cutoff, at a major advantage early on in their soccer career, right? And now you may be thinking, but okay, sure. The difference between like a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old is insane. But by the time they get to be like professional, the difference between like a 25 and a 24-year-old is basically nothing. Yes, but what the study found was that apparently, because they were so good relative to the rest of their team when they started at like age 5, well, guess what? Now they're the star player. Now they're getting a bunch of attention. Now their coach really believes in them, a lot more than like the other teammates. They get more development for that reason. That they've become the star player. They're who the coach is focused on. Like, oh yeah, you've got talent. I may be able to make something of you. So get over here, do some extra work. We're going to actually make you a properly decent soccer player. And by the time they're at like high school or college or professional level, the people who made it that far are probably the people who had those successes early on. They were the star players on their little league teams, and therefore got all that sort of investment in them as a result. And you may think like, oh, that's unfair on the coach's part, but and I've been in a similar role in my life before, and it kind of makes sense, right? You see what the kids present to you, right? Some of them are going to be more competent than others for various reasons, and you're going to want to invest your time more so in the kids that actually seem like they know what they're doing. Seem like they might have a future out of it. I forgot about how this whole first area worked. Did I die? Oh, come on. I've been to this castle so many times. Maybe I shouldn't ramble about, like, the statistics of, like, birthdays correlating to success in professional sports. Maybe that's the problem. Let's take a look at the chat, though.